Hey guys, good afternoon. Hope everyone's doing well. I see a couple of the old regulars in, so we're just gonna get cracking. How are we doing, guys? I've just realised I haven't changed my text here, but just give me 1 second and I'll do it now. How's everyone's Friday doing, guys? Hope everyone's doing well. Let me just do these. Oh god, this is annoying. I should have done this before. I always forget something, guys. I always forget something. Always gonna happen. So, things that we're gonna go through. Check the ticker at the bottom. I'm just deleting some of the, because it's copied the emojis. So it's like, so for example, Spurs BACK ? But I did it with a white dot on Twitter, and that means it says like white dot Spurs. So that's not what I want to do. Direct hit teams to target. I want the emojis. All right, there we go. So things at the bottom. That'll be the ticker. I think that's fine. Okay, there we go. All right, I'm here. I'm ready now. I'm sorted. So we got Neil. How are we doing, Neil? And Midzi also on a wildcard. No Salah. Let's go. Let me just change the colour. There we go. Neil with Zaha again. What an option he is turning out. And he's got a good run of fixtures with Palace. Unbelievable, Neil. But it just, I know, and I keep saying it, I'm going to focus on like just stats. Pure, cold-blooded stat killer. But I still just feel so reluctant to go for someone like Zaha. It just still feels trap-esque. PLDT, how you doing, buddy? Welcome into the stream. Daniel, how you doing? Foden and Werner or Son and DCL? For this week, I'd say Foden and Werner. I do have, so just before, I'll finish off the hellos. Hi, Kritha, how you doing, buddy? I always say Kritha because, I don't know, there's no vowels in there, so it's tough to say. So Neil, Sean's in. You pity everyone that's not on their wild card. Bold, Sean, I thought you. I know that you commented on the video earlier saying, "Oh, you think you might do it," and then boom, you'd activated the wild card. I'll talk about obviously why I've activated the wild card. I did mention it in the video, but I can go into more depth. You know, with streams, it's like a casual thing, and I do have my drafts on my phone that I'll transfer onto here because I did say it in the video, guys. So my current team is. It's awful, right? Because on a wild card, you try and earn a little bit of money, right? So unfortunately, I think I'm going to miss out on some double rises. So I'm not going to get as much money as I thought I would. So for example, Justin's 4.6, but I think I got him for 4.6. Unfortunately, I was late on that one. But the likes of James has gone up one, Silas has gone up one. They're not going to go up two, so I'm not going to get that much money. But this is not my finished squad at all, guys. Like this is me trying to get some money on my wild card, and I did say that in the video, and people have commented on the video from the week and said, "Oh, why you got this guy? What's this got all with?" I'm like, guys, I said like if you're on your wild card, this is what you're supposed to do with it, right? Try and earn a little bit of money, and then don't do your proper team until like the night before the day of the wild card, the deadline, right? So this team is not definitely. I mean, I'm not going Calvert-Lewin, Bamford, and Brewster as my front three. I mean, I thought that would have been like a little bit obvious, but what can we say? Some people are just not listening. Neil hasn't activated, he's worried. Sean took a -4, so again, I'll come back to why I've activated earlier. Hey lads, how you doing, buddy? And Emil, welcome. Undead, is that Omen? Undead Omen. Oh, the axis put me off. The axis put me off there. 140 points, team looking good. No wild card here, that's good. No, I didn't actually massively need it. I finished the week on 60 points, and my team wasn't awful. But again, I will discuss after the hellos, like what's going on and why I've done it. DCL, Richarlison, DCL. Wildcard activated Wednesday, no way around it, and it's fun. But I completely agree. And again, when I talk about the reasons why, one of the things is, before the season starts, you have no idea form or the nailed on starting 11 or what things are going to look like. 2 game weeks in is early. It is, and I would still recommend that if you can hold not playing your wildcard, I would suggest it. But with the shape that my team was in, and the direction I wanted to go, and I wanted to attack aggressively. So I will just quickly say the reason why I did the wildcard. A lot of people this week have taken -4s, -8s, or even -12s. And last week I took a -4. And if I was going to be happy with this squad as a whole, I probably would have had to do like a -4 or -8 this game week, and then maybe another -4 or -8 in a week. So it would have cost me between 12 and 16 points over the next, say, 3 game weeks just to get towards a squad that I want now. And over 2 or 3 game weeks, there's no saying what is going to happen with your fantasy football team. Maybe someone gets injured and you've got other fires to put out. So if you're sat there thinking, I'll take a -8 now and a -4 next week, but you're already penciling in something that's 3 weeks down the line where, Salah gets an injury or DCL gets dropped because Everton go out and buy, a superstar striker or something like that. So my reasoning behind playing the wild card is I had a few players that I wanted to get out. And I'd rather wild card now and maybe take a hit in the future rather than taking hits now and then end up wildcarding anyway. So it just felt sensible to wildcard, and then if I have to take -8s and -12s, maybe, rather than definitely take hits now, and then I'm still going to play my wildcard anyway. So that was one reason why, obviously, I played my wildcard. DCL third prize rise, so happy. Yep, I've had him since the start of the season, and I don't think he's going anywhere, but I can't say that, surprisingly now, about James Rodriguez. I'm still thinking about that. ASM to Havertz, well, for me, yes, but I mean, that's not really fair because that's like a 5.5 million to an 8.4 million, so it's rare that you go from a 5.5 to an 8.4 and it's not a better move. Do I have any inside scoop on KDB's availability? Pep was rather vague. Oh, is this about the concussion thing? I reckon he'll be fine. Hey, how are you doing? Did a -4 Monday to get KDB, Foden and Size ahead of Aubameyang, ASM teams. What do I think? I think they're very, very good moves. Aubameyang to De Bruyne, St. Max to Podence -4. Kifian. Hello again, Kifian. Yes, to be honest, that is, if I had to say Twitter template move of the week, and I'm not even meaning it in like a mean, harsh way, because, that's what we call it, right? That's what everyone's doing. I don't know many people that, if they have a Aubameyang, I don't know many people that haven't just gone to De Bruyne. I mean, he was a monster against Wolves. Absolute monster. He took a -20. Conqueror, a -20. I used to do those. That's why my overall rank history is awful. Rudy, Son and Podence, or Foden and Greenwood. Now, Rudy, in my favourite current draft, I've got 4 different drafts, right? On my favourite current draft, Foden and Greenwood are in that team. And it all depends if they sign Sancho, right? Because Manchester United apparently said, right, 90 million Borussia Dortmund, take it or leave it. It'd be just funny if Borussia Dortmund says, no, thanks, we'll leave it. Like, Man United are acting like they've got the power in the deal, the power of the negotiator, right? But they haven't. Right, okay, fine, you don't think 90 million? We'll only offer 89 million. No, it's all right, we'll just keep Sancho, thank you. It's madness. Conqueror, if you... yeah, okay, so Sean's already told you. If you do wildcard now, you won't be on a -20. Anderson also on a wildcard. Quite a lot of us going, and I do think, it depends on your team. I mean, if you're looking at your team and you've got players we're wildcarding into, then great. But, if you've already got the likes of James and Sice, popular defenders, for example, in your team, then of course. Where's Maxim from? Well, I'm from Blackpool. Family's from Bolton, so maybe that. Bench Podence or Costa this week? Costa. I mean, Wolves have got West Ham and 2 players right in the managers out with COVID-19. Playing De Bruyne this week since game week 1, but Podence swayed. Now, I actually, so in the drafts, I'll get to in a minute, but in the drafts I do have Podence, and I am actually thinking that it's one of those things again that is popular on social media. I genuinely think Podence is a move that people are thinking it might give them Wolves cover. I think Wolves will still go out and buy a replacement for Diogo Jota. I'm not saying necessarily under threat, but the direction I'll go in when you start to see some of my drafts is I'm leaning away from playing like 5.5 midfielders because I just don't think the value for money is there. I think if you go a 5.5 midfielder against a 5.5 million defender, the defender's a lot better than the midfielder. So I'm trying to take that out of my team, to not have these 5.5 million players playing every week. But I'll go for a minute. Hey, Tips, how you doing, buddy? Welcome back. I saw your new microphone. You went for the snowball, right? I've got the Yeti. They're great, honestly. They are really good. The blue brand. You took Salah out for Son. Opinions. I think that the tactical display by Southampton against Spurs was one of the worst I think we've seen in a long time. And there's... I don't want to say it. No, I'll say it. I don't think there's any way that Newcastle's going to let Spurs get in behind like Southampton did. And wasn't it last season where Newcastle won at Spurs? Or drew, at least? I don't think they're going to get smashed like Southampton did. In for Glitch or Click. Next week, Jimenez. Nice. Wildcard active for Marcus as well. Welcome back, Marcus. Hope you're well, buddy. A lot of us in here with our wildcards active. Love it. Best budget defender, 4 million and 4.5. I don't think a 4 million defender is worth it at all. 4.5 probably Lamperty or even Kyle Walker-Peters. I don't know why, but I've been looking at Rob Holding. So one of the things I've been looking at, guys, is the top managers don't rely on players from lower to relegation threatened sides. I mean, when you think about it, it makes sense, right? So just someone like Rob Holding, I think, if he holds on a place, I don't think he will though. Saliba's going to be coming back, and you've got Gabriel and Mari, so it's tough to say. But, you know, could be looking at a 4.5 million. They won. Yeah, thanks, Joe. Yeah, I thought that that Spurs got it over last year. I'm just thinking. So Harry, Chelsea fan, it's turned my eye. Mendy, the new Chelsea goalkeeper for us wildcard people, 5 million to get into that Chelsea team. My only question is he gonna? Definitely, is he coming in as the number one? I mean, we all know the issues with Kepa, right? We all know the issues with Kepa. But is Mendy in for Chelsea as Chelsea's number one, or is he going to have to fight for that shirt? Is he ready for this weekend? Because if he is, I was leaning towards Guaita as my goalkeeper. I tell you what, but Mendy for 5 million, you get a top 4 club goalkeeper there. It is definitely a head turner. And if this was next week and we know what would happen this weekend, then yeah, I'd go for that. You think that's it. And we all know Kepa is bad, and I don't think they go out and spend what was the final price? About 20 million, just over 20 million. But for this weekend, probably not. So I don't want to start with my wildcard team keeperless. You know what I mean? It's a shame, and I don't want to do a future transfer on a goalkeeper, but we shall see. Think Kane will have more joy against Newcastle? Possibly. Need help Zaha or Harvey Barnes? The problem is, I would be interested in Harvey Barnes, but I still think there's a risk of rotation, especially when Maddison comes back. Zaha's completely nailed on, and Chris Pass have got decent fixtures. I can't believe I'm recommending Zaha. This is 2020, guys. I took -20 and I got in Lamperty, Martinez, Kevin De Bruyne, Sterling, Watkins, Jimenez. Should I wildcard instead before the deadline? Personally, I understand that 151 points and then -24. No, in my opinion, and you guys in the chat can just be free to disagree. If you're taking a -20 to -24, I'd wildcard. Like, I think that's a lot. Kiffian, the difference with the 4.5 and 5.5 defenders, and so that's why some of my drafts are looking like a 4-3-3, but that means like I'm playing 5 million defenders like Sykes and James, which are very good, right? The value that you could get from a 5 million James is so much more than it is from a 5.5 million Saint Maximin or maybe even a Podence, right? So playing a 4-3-3, you're looking at like a front three of DCL, Jimenez, and Werner. Solid, no weak links there. Then you're looking at midfield like Kevin De Bruyne, James Rodriguez, and maybe like a Greenwood or a Havertz or a Pulisic or whatever. So then you're looking at your team every week and you're thinking, okay, there's no weakness. My cheapest player is a 5 million defender, which is like James or Saiss, which is good. Is Saiss a rotation risk? I don't want to say he is, but I'm not gonna. I can't claim, that he's never going to get benched because he wasn't fully nailed on last season. Foden and Jimenez, or James Rodriguez and Mitrovic. Foden and Jimenez. I do not like the Arsenal fixture short term, so Aubameyang out for me. St. Max injured. Yeah, Neil, that's it. That's just a normal one. Best striker under 7.5 million. Dominic Calvert-Lewis. Saiss isn't a rotation risk, but this is it. Kevin, like I said, he wasn't nailed last year. Doubled up on Wolves, and you got Trent, Coleman. I'd looked at Coleman as well, but I just don't trust that defence. I think they'll still always concede the odd goal because I don't trust Everton's centre-back partnership or the goalkeeper. And Lamberty, 4.5 million I think is the best one. Best midfielder for upcoming fixtures. Free reign, Kevin De Bruyne. Just taking Reece James 5 nailed on to. Yep, I agree. Martinez in your wildcard as goalkeeper. Me too. Probably change game. Minus 16 our wildcard. Yeah, I actually did do a Twitter poll on this the other day where I said, like, how many hits does it have to take until you activate the wildcard? At 12, I'm the same. Minus 16 and above, I'm wildcarding. That's too much. Opinion Bruno Fernandes, great player, but worrying interview where he said that about Marcus Rashford. He was saying, if Rashford wants to take a penalty, he can take the penalty. So one of the best things about Bruno Fernandes is possibly just flying out the window. Aubameyang is captain. Away to Liverpool? No, this is last week's points, by the way. The ones on the screen, that's the game we've just gone. Hey, crazy dude, how you doing, buddy? Podence or Click. Click is on pens. True. Again, the thing is, I've already mentioned this. Like, I'm not interested, I think, anymore in those 5.5 million midfielders, and a lot of people are going to be jumping on. And again, it's that flow of Podence. Oh my God, he's nutmeg KDB. Wow, get him in your team. He's got 2 assists. Yeah. Look at stats and heat maps. He was one of the worst ones in terms of XG in Project Restart area. So it's going to take a lot more winning of me than it has for some people. Should you play Taylor at home to Southampton or Vinagre? I'd probably go Vinagre because Neil, I don't want to definitely say, but I'm fairly confident it's come out and that Marçal, the new defender that took his place, is apparently out for a couple of weeks. But I would just wait for the news conferences, Neil. But if he is out, then Vinagre should be in, and I would probably go for him. 13 changes in your wildcard. I didn't actually count mine. Back in a minute. You've got Naglin feeling that Ings will score. So that's why I got against West Ham, and it's a wing back in it against a defence. Watkins at Villa for 6 million. Hardly talked about because he's unproven, I'd say, Christopher. Not interested in championship level strikers. Best 7.5 million striker other than DCL. To be honest, that ranging down, there's a lot. I already said this in a tweet. Chris Wood, 6.5 million. Great stats. So 14 goals and 1 assist in 32 games. 6.5 million. And the run, the fixtures Burnley have. Tasty. Hey Steve, how you doing? No juicy bits yet. Not gone into my drafts. Just wildcarding discussions. Wildcarding early is a good idea to build value and not take hits. Yeah, I've taken a -4 already this season, so that's a good one. But yeah, that's a regret because it was Martial in for Ings as well. So between going 4-3-3 with Chris Wood or going 4-4-2 with Pereira. Chris Wood, already said it. 7 million midfielder. Foden. 9 changes for you, then it's worth it. Hey Jason, how you doing, buddy? Thanks for your help last week. Well, Justin still outscored James up to. But remember, think long term, right? Up to for Jimenez, Kane, DCL for longer term. Am I hurting myself with no Werner? I might not have any Werner because it'll be Gabriel Jesus that I'm going for, but I'll probably hold Werner and swap him to Jesus next week. 5-6 expensive player with fillers. Better than 2-3. Yep, that's the tactic I'm going for. Suhaib. I'm the same. I'm guessing like value in defence. Oh, I love defence. I used to be a defender. I've got to back my boys at the back. Any news on Ferguson? Not that I've seen so far. Right, so let's just... So obviously, please ignore most of this team. So, change, you can see Martinez here, 4.5. I am leaning towards Guaita. Let's just go through a couple of the options that I've been looking at so far. Some of them are going to be pretty similar. I'm going to organise it by price so I can remember where everyone is. For me, the thing that is still like non-negotiable is Trent and Robbo at the back. It's not negotiable for me. Like it is just the price and like the wingers for Liverpool essentially. Like I'm just not moving them out. And then Justin out for Lampard. So this is, I believe, my least favourite draft that I've made so far. So I've got De Bruyne and Podence. Actually, I'm going to change one little thing. And then this out. And I know he's going to be probably dropped now, so obviously this was just one idea of a draft. Calvert-Lewin, keep Brewster there. So this was one draft that I was looking at. So you can see I've still got 0.5 in the middle in the bank, so I've got Martinez, but that was probably going to go to Guaita because I know most of us will pay 4.5 million on a goalkeeper. And it's McCarthy and Ryan. But when I really look at it, I do think it could be worth paying the extra 0.5 million for a goalkeeper that Crystal Palace are just such a defensive team. And they'll get you the save points and he'll get you the clean sheets that it feels like the Palace goalkeeper. I mean, he went on a crazy run last year. Sheffield United, I think, will be a difficult thing, but Pickford, isn't Pickford 5 million? I said I don't trust Everton in terms of the goalkeeper defence, but yeah, Pickford's 5 million. I genuinely think that for 5 million, I'd rather have a better chance of clean sheets than a 4.5. But I'll go through these in a minute. Is wildcard transfers permanent? Free hit is just for 1 week. Foden or Wood? Oh, Wood. And you kept... But Vinagra's lost money, hasn't he? Zaha or Foden? At the minute, I've got to say Zaha. His opponent's good value. If he plays, yeah. But there's an if. Would I consider Trent, Robbo and Van Dijk? James? Yeah, I would. But that is putting all your eggs in one basket, innit? I mean, I know double defence is one thing, but triple... Oof, 1 goal goes in. But the thing with those three, with the Liverpool three, Van Dijk corners, right, with his head, and Trent and Robbo getting assists. Robbo's not blanked yet, and Van Dijk's not blanked yet. In 2 games. And in one of those games, he conceded a bunch against Leeds, right? So, no Mitrovic? No, not all. Target. Who's a target? Bro. Is that Brighton? Anything I would change? Martinez, Saiss, James, Trent, De Bruyne, Salah, Podence, Rodriguez, DCL, Werner, Wood. Benjamin, I actually think... I'm just looking now. That is... almost one of my drafts. One of my favourite ones I've made. New Chelsea melted. We mentioned the new Chelsea keeper. Massively interested. Just too early. Any 6.5 million for looking essential? No. Wood on Mitrovic? Wood. Man U assets? Greenwood. No, come on. We know Martial, and I'm not going to turn away from Bruno and Martial and Rashford, but Greenwood at 7.5. Oof, and he looks good. Palace 3 and 2, Liverpool, Palace 4, Mills. Not for me, James. You don't see the buzz with Martinez, his fixtures aren't great. Yeah, but long term or season goalkeeper, right? But he's a really good goalkeeper. Matt Target from Villa. Oh, okay. Matt Target. Ings and Son or Bamford and Salah? Ings and Son. Suchek said, okay, yeah, so some of these are price point holders. So I've got Jorginho, but I got him in because he's on penalties. And for example, if I wanted to play him 1 week, I don't think a week. So for example, I wanted to play him this week away to West Brom, who have already conceded penalty. I don't think it's a bad idea. No, Jimenez, not on this one. Don't worry, this is probably my least favourite draft so far. Target from Villa left back, he seems to be... Oh, as a suggestion conqueror, okay. No Villa defenders for me. I think, Neil, I already tweeted out that the one player that I'm actually worried about not having is Chris Wood. I know it's mad, but he's top of a lot of algorithms and stuff, so... Can Martial or Rashford do what Son have had? Yes, of course. They've got the ability. Will Werner start taking the pens now? Jorginho's? I don't think so. I mean, to miss one penalty in... God, how many has he taken? You don't take him away for that. Anyway, so going through this, Guaita, I mentioned, I think the extra value there is good. Lamberty, great. So this would be... You can see all my back five are great. So it is putting more money in there. But even my midfield five, Podence is your enabler or your fourth mid. Rodriguez, Sterling, De Bruyne, obviously great, and then just two up front. So it's 4-4-2 or 3-5-2, and it's Werner, and then Werner would go out next week to Gabriel Jesus, and then having a triple Man City. So this is one. This is one thing that I've got, and then Sterling doesn't play, and then I've got Lamperty coming on or Jorginho coming on. Isn't too bad. Or I could move Jorginho to a 4.5 million Burke or Bissouma or Anguissa, Zambo from Fulham, and put that extra 0.5 or a million elsewhere, right? So that's one idea. Is KDB okay so far? But I'd wait for the press conferences. Ryan and Nyland, Trent, James, Vinagre, Saiz, Lamperty, Son, KDB, Salah. Oh, that's a big midfield. Wood, Jesus, DCL. Yeah, so 4-3-3, Sean. You're thinking, I think, the same as me. Martinez, Luca Dean, Robertson, Saiz. No, Trent. Son, De Bruyne, Mount. Ooh, Mount, Podence. That's not strongest midfield. Kane, Jimenez. That's a good attack, though. Zaha and Robertson. Oh, Rodriguez and Van Dijk. Zaha and Robertson. So let me go to the 4-4-3. Basically, it's the same defense and goalkeeper as this. But two of these boys. No, I don't like this one. It's this one I want. Sterling, De Bruyne, no Podence. It would be Mr. Burke and Monsieur Bissouma. Bissouma's only going to miss one game, by the way, guys, because they had a cup match which was 1 game suspension, and then they got through, so there's a second, so he's only actually going to miss 1 game. And this would be Raul Jimenez. This would be Jimenez. And we would have Chris Wood. So this is a squad number 2. So you can see still 0.5 million in the bank. Same defense as I just talked about. And then a midfield 3 of De Bruyne, Sterling, Rodriguez. So it'd be 4-3-3. So it'd be James, Trent, Robertson, Saiz, De Bruyne, Sterling, Rodriguez, Calvert-Lewin, Jimenez, Wood. So then I'd be looking every week thinking, okay, so my cheap players... Reece James at Chelsea seems like a really good option. Saiz, the current fixtures that Wolves are going to have in defence. West Ham, Fulham, Leeds, Newcastle, Palace over the next few game weeks. And then Chris Wood as my quote-unquote weak player. He's got Southampton, whose defence has just been annihilated, basically. Newcastle, West Brom, Spurs can concede a goal. Chelsea can concede a goal, but I think by this point they've got Chilwell and Silva, so that'll be a difficult fixture. Brighton, Palace, and then Man City difficult, Everton. So just long term, this is an idea. This would be, I think, better than the last draft that I had. Let me just catch up. Considering Dunning from Burnley for 4 million on a wildcard, I wouldn't because it's short term. Started 6 points first game with Arsenal, played safe funds. Look, if you've got two good defenders or two good players that will come on, and you want to put a 4 million defender as your third sub, that's fine. But for me, when I wildcard, I basically have a full playing squad. I don't like having a waste of a space on a wildcard because that's it. On a wildcard, if you've got injuries or you've got stuff and you don't want to do hits and things, then I have apart from a second goalkeeper, that's what I tend to do. Because in this situation, instead of a 5 million Guaita, I might go for a 4.5 million Ryan and a 4.5 million Martinez and just have a full playing squad. That's my idea anyway. Captain Salah, De Bruyne, Kevin De Bruyne. Current draft includes Jorginho. Hey, welcome, Mark. Me too. Got 1.5 million about to take a hit to get him out. Whoa. No. Wait, if he's in your draft, what do you mean? If he's in your draft, you're not on a wild card, or you're just like playing around with the idea. Play Walker Peters versus Burnley or Taylor versus Southampton. I'd go Walker Peters just because he's more of an attacking player. Or drop Barnes versus City. Oh, Barnes has been looking tasty, and I've played defenders over good-looking attackers before. That's Pookie, by the way, at home to Man City last season, because I thought, I'm going to be smart, I'm going to play defenders instead of Pookie. Didn't work out for me. Sean agrees with me. Kyle Walker-Peters, you've just dropped Vardy on your fan team. Yeah, I'm 30. I'm like 33rd on fan team. It's absolute. It's my FPL game, I guess. At the moment, I mean, it's been 2 game weeks. I'm probably gonna do awful, but yeah, I'm like 33rd or something. It's like 2,000 euros I'm currently sat on. But there's 36 game weeks left to go. So, yeah. It's like minus 20 already. If you activate that wildcard now by transferring one player again, yes. If you activate your wildcard before the deadline, you will get 0 hits for this week. Southampton will turn it around, Burnley keep out double up on McCarthy and oh, Sean, I like that optimism. I think I already mentioned that Zaha, Robertson, I'd choose Yusuf. You've got Ryan in goal. That's not good. 33rd is awesome. I mean, it'd be great if we can continue. Unlikely. And it's funny because I've got 2 teams in the competition, right? And one I wildcarded with last week, and my non-wildcard team won. Barnes won't play if Leicester go 5 at the back though. Yeah, and I did mention Barnes isn't 100% nailed on. You're miles down the family. But it's short. It's short term. Okay, going into my big ones now. Let's have a look at this draft as well. They're not miles away. It feels like Lamptey, James, Trent and Robertson basically go nowhere. Put Podence back in here. This actually goes up to like a Shoning Son. Change him to Timo Werner. I was going to just go Gabriel Jesus to Timo Werner out for Gabriel Jesus, but I think I'm going to I'm not going to do that. And then this could be a Hyung Min Son. So this is another idea you can see. It would be De Bruyne, Son, Podence, Rodriguez. So fourth, it'd be 3-4-3. It'd be James, Trent, Robbo, De Bruyne, Son, Podence, Rodriguez, Calvert-Lewin, Jimenez, and Werner. But again, when I said about the cheap players, this is why I think possibly I've got a good 4-3-3 as well that I've got in here. But again, when I look at this team, a back three, James, Trent, Robbo, solid. De Bruyne, Son, Rodriguez, great. Podence is my only cheap player. And then Dominic Jimenez, Werner. I think this is it. And then on my bench, I've got Lamperty, Kyle Walker-Peters, and Burke. I genuinely think like this is possibly the most solid squad. So it's three at the back, so with goals flying in, I'm not worried about clean sheets, and two of my defenders are incredible. And James looks like he could be a really, really good option. De Bruyne, amazing player. Heung-min Son, good form, but I still don't trust Spurs. Still. I do think this Southampton result is going to be an anomaly. Podence, not sold by Podence at the minute. Rodriguez, fantastic. Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Dominic Calvert-Lewin's heat map is just the 6-yard box, guys. Like, seriously. And then Jimenez and Werner up front. Like, this for me is a really, really, really solid squad. Lams is your favourite player in the Premier League right now. The only issue is, Kifian, I think he's going to get kicked a lot. I seem to think Wood is a good pick on points wise. He's just not very exciting, and that's it, Matt. People, it's not a flair pick, right? A Burnley striker is not a sexy option, right? You don't look at Chris Wood and think, oh, look at the turns and the flicks and the panache. They stick the ball in the box, he heads it, and it goes in the back of the net, right? So, again, this is what I was saying about last season and the end of last season and pre-season, that I just want to be a stat person. I got to take the emotion out of some of the decisions. Not all of them, because FPL's fun. You want to get the players. I got Rodriguez in early because I thought he looked excellent. Maybe stat-wise wasn't perfect, but I saw some potential there. But someone like Chris Wood, it's like, 6.5 million, plays for Burnley, they're just going to lump it in the box to him. But just try and look at it from a statistics point of view. I said earlier, it was like, what was it? Was it 13 or 14 goals? I've got it on my Twitter. It's 13, here we go. 14 goals and 1 assist in 32 games. So he's, on average, basically getting you an attacking return every other game for 6.5 million. Shots to goals conversion 24.56. So a quarter of his goals go in. A quarter of his shots go in. XG of 16.97. Shooting accuracy of 48%. So again, every other shot he takes is an accurate shot. Only 2.2% owned. He shares penalties with Ashley Barnes. And the fixtures that Burnley have, which is why actually Walker-Peters won't be here, it would be Taylor. The fixtures that they have, Southampton, Newcastle, just a good option, really good option. Double Wolves defence, a great option, I agree. Salah or Sterling? Tough. Depends. If you don't have Liverpool defence, Salah. Greenwood, great if they don't sign someone. Neil wants Wolves. I do. I'm looking at Semedo, and that'll be coming on to my next draft in a minute. DCL's... Let me just scroll this up. DCL's first goal last week summed him up. Right place, right time. They're trying to say that Ancelotti's trying to make Calvert-Lewin into like an Inzaghi, where... And he even said himself, out of his own mouth, Ancelotti after the game, that something like, he scored 3 goals, he touched the ball 4 times. That's what I want from my striker. And that's exactly the kind of stuff that Dominic Calvert-Lewin can do. And his positioning is massively improved inside the box. And he's staying inside the box. Like I said earlier about the heat map, like, his heat map is just inside the opposition penalty area instead of being on the left wing or at centre attacking midfield position. So... And just to have him just be a poacher, basically. And from an FPL perspective, that's fantastic with great players behind him now. Creative players. Lamptey will end with most fouls won, probably. Yeah, it looks like that. He gets kicked a lot. Ryan McCarthy, Ayling, I wouldn't go Ayling. Stay away from Leeds defence. Walker-Peters, Ferguson, Trent. Need about 4 hits to save wildcard. It's not ideal. I'm not gonna lie, James. It's not ideal. Martinez, Ryan, Justin, VVD, Wan-Bissaka, Size done. Alzati, Costa, KDB. It's all right. Hey, Daff, how you doing, buddy? Podence, I'll say Maximan. Podence, got a day off, so it's live. What a nice. You've got a day off, and I've got to work tomorrow. Out here, we've got to if there's a public holiday on like a Thursday, they make you work the previous Saturday, so then you get Thursday and Friday off instead of just giving you Thursday and Friday off. Love it. Isn't that great? And that's it. That's a really good point, Matt. Actually, yeah, I've got a spicy James to balance out a boring pick like Wood. Looking at Semedo as well, I massively am, but I just feel we're just really unlucky. I think we're 1 week too early for Semedo and Mendy at Chelsea. I would have really liked it. Foden or Greenwood? Both. I'd go Greenwood. Would I take a -4 to bring in Wood for Wilson? No. I mean, if it's long term, Daft, then maybe. Like, if you're looking at that thinking, yeah, I think Wilson's going to blank. Wood could get a goal, so that'd balance it out to 0. Oh, Newcastle. I'm not going towards Newcastle again. And that's it, Matt. And that's why, again, I think a lot of us won't go for someone like Chris Wood because he plays for Burnley, right? But the man scored 14 goals in 32 games. Like, I haven't obviously checked it, but how many goals did Jesus score last season? In fact, no, let's check it now. So, you can see 14 goals, 1 assist, 2-4-3-6. 2-4-3-6 minutes. I think Jesus will have got a lot worse. So 146 points and a couple of 100 minutes less. He's 9.5 and Wood's 6.5. I don't think he's a terrible option. Head off, moving out. Oh. Alright, Sean, take it easy, buddy. Zaha, son. Ooh. Ugh. Son. But again, that's not fair, because they're completely different prices. Imagine doing your A-levels and have 1 3-day week. Oof. Memories. Been a long time since I've done that. My roommate is moving in now. Oh, okay. That's a good thing, though. Got a roommate now. Salah or Mane? That is the question. Salah. No question. No debate. Fact. Cheers, Sean. Hopefully, remember to make your transfers. What do you think about Captain United playing this week? Differential? No. I'm not. I'm just being boring with my captaincy picks. I'm just going to choose someone who's got. For me, this week it's De Bruyne or Werner. Werner because he's against a very, 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 very leaky West Brom. But Kevin De Bruyne, he's just Kevin De Bruyne. He's at home. Leicester's got some injuries and some people missing. I'm massively tempted. No differential captains anymore. Too many times last season, I tried to be like, oh, not many people are going to choose him, so I'm going to go for that. No. Just give the armband to the one player in your team who you think will get the most points. Because it doesn't matter if 10% of the game does it or if 99% of the game does it. If he is the highest scoring player, you still get the points. If you get 5 points and it goes to 10, but only 2% of people did that, but then every other player got 6 points to 12 points, they still got more points than you. And that is what is the point, right? You try to get points, not differential scores. Would we be set and forget if you did so? Yeah, so... Oh, it'll go to -8. I don't like it, to be honest. Cheers, my secret machine. I'm an English teacher. Would I do it full time? Yeah, but it's never going to happen. And that's the thing, right? If you go full time, then that means you can obviously research a lot more, you can create a lot more. I could do writing, I could probably upload the scripts and stuff that I write. But in terms of having it stable, like I'm quite high up at my job now that it's something, you know, it's thrown in a career for YouTube. I'd rather just keep this as my own space where everyone's welcome to come and talk about football and FPL, rather than have this as my job and I'm sat here like, oh god, like I've got to do it this way and everything's got to be great because, you know, this is my source of income. I like just having this as, okay guys, let's just have a chat. Like there's no money I get from this, so definitely just happy to keep YouTube as something I do in my free time. On Wildcard keepers, Ryan Guaita. Yes! Oh, wait. 9.5 million, Gavin, on goalkeepers. Woof. Taylor Robertson, keen. Everton's keen. I'm not keen on that, buddy. Justin Mitchell. Son, Salah, Kevin De Bruyne, Daniel Podence, Jimenez, Woods, Davis. I'll always say, guys, you know, on this channel, I always say, go with what you feel is right. Or we're all just going to have the same squad, right? It's not going to be a very fun game. So yeah, personally, a couple of those players I'm not a fan of. Werner is Jesus. Werner this week, then go to Jesus. Is Jesus injured? Is he? I've not heard anything. Werner's your captain. Worried about, yeah. So this is it, Neil. Like penalties as well. That we've had. Was it 13 penalties? And at this point last season, it was like 3. I think Kevin De Bruyne is on penalties. So Werner probably could get 1 or 2 goals against West Brom, right? This is going back to my game week 1 conundrum of, can I avoid a Werner smashing? Because I am just leaning on not having Werner, just getting Gabriel Jesus, so then I'm not penciled into a transfer next week. Ings can score against anyone. Fact. Anything I would change to the team? Martinez, Size, Trent, James, Mitchell. Yeah, Mitchell, because he's not going to keep his place for long. Oh, I guess you'll swap him for Lamperty, won't you? KDB, Salah, James. Oh, James, Superberg, Werner, Jimenez, DCL. Yeah, Benjamin, that is so similar to kind of what I'm looking at. 4-3-3, right? Listen to a bit of Black Box and I think the player who got the most captain points last season targeted fixtures, not form. Yeah, Matt, I agree, but remember that it's not 100% successful. There's still a lot of blanks. Like, let's just say, in a game week of 38, there's probably like 8 blanks in there, right? So, and the thing that puts me off about Werner is, I understand that you, for captaincy, go for the fixtures, right? Go for those bottom 3 to 6 clubs. But we're putting the captain's armband on a player who hasn't scored a Premier League goal yet. And personally, I don't like putting the captain's armband on strikers because goals and assists are worth more for midfielders. If Kevin De Bruyne gets a goal and Werner gets a goal, it's more points, and captaincy's double. So Kevin De Bruyne only has to score 1 goal and Werner has to score 2. So that's what's leaning me towards Kevin De Bruyne. Harrison, good option. I'm not going towards Leeds. Son captain's the option. Yes, but I do not think they'll get behind Newcastle. I remember someone asking FPL Dave, getting asked this question, and he said, once you make YouTube your job, you don't want to do it. Yeah. YouTube is a way to escape that fun. Yeah, that's pretty similar to that. And I mean, don't get me wrong, if I was sat here with like 100k subs and Patreon getting loads of money and stuff, and I've got potential to grow that way, then that's a good avenue to take. But it's always going to be on the back of my mind that it's not a stable job. For example, when coronavirus hit last year, right, and it shut everything down, and I'm here like, well, people will cancel a Patreon and I've got no content to create because there's no football for X amount of time. Like, I'm just happy to just have like a normal job and then just do this for fun. It's just not like, and you look at the people that go full time, they do this for like, well, they should do it for years and years and years before they branch out. It will backfire, Neil. 100%. Havertz captain this week. No, I did see somewhere, and I need to double check it, that they smashed Barnsley 6-0. Havertz got a hat-trick. I understand that. I'm pretty sure I saw Gaffer, and Gaffer is like the championship fantasy football game. And I'm pretty sure I saw them post that around that Chelsea game, Barnsley had the most like goals conceded XG. Expected goals conceded in the entire championship. So you got a top 4 Premier League team smashing a championship club with like the most expected goals conceded in the championship. So I'm just not buying it. Not buying it. I mean, I know then people say, well, it's West Brom, but come on, West Brom are a Premier League side. And yes, he could get 1 or 2 goals. Is he going to score 4 or 5 like maybe like Salah could? I don't want to say no, but he's not scored a Premier League goal yet, so. Oh, cheers now, man. I'm glad you like it. You think Let's Talk is great, but if you get... Nah, I don't think so. But I appreciate the compliment, mate. Everybody writes on Twitter that Jesus is injured. I'm talking you out of it. No, Werner's a good option. He's just never scored. If Jesus is injured, I haven't seen, guys. I'm not going to take it from. I'm not going to take it from Twitter. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm going to have to. All right, a lot of people are saying it now from accounts I trust. That just makes Sterling more attractive, doesn't it, guys? Doesn't that make you think? Well, Raheem Sterling playing down the middle. Oh. Yeah, I'm on a wildcard, Daff. I'm on a wildcard. Wildcard team: Ryan Martinez, solid. Robertson, Justin, Saiss, Mitchell, Taylor. I don't like seeing so many Justin and Mitchells. Because they're just short term if you're on your wild card. If that's not your wild card, yeah, he's wild card team, you say it. Son, Rodriguez, yes. Podence, Mane, yes. KDB, yes. DCL, Jimenez, Bamford. Don't like Bamford, don't like Justin, don't like Mitchell. Werner hat trick. He will take penalties tomorrow. That is a bold claim. Bold. Hey, Alexandros. Thanks, buddy. Quick question. Kane and Van Dijk or Podence and Jimenez and Saiss and Son? Oh, sorry. Kane and Van Dijk and Podence or Jimenez, Saiss, Son. Jimenez, Saiss, Son. Oh, that's difficult actually because Van Dijk is a season keeper. Podence has got good fixtures. If I'm perfectly honest, Alexandros, I probably wouldn't go for those 3 options. So you basically 10.5 million striker. I'd go like Jimenez over Kane. I'd go Van Dijk over Saiss and maybe Podence over Son and spend the money elsewhere. Best 5.5 million options. Hazard, I spoke earlier, like a lot of people say like Podence. I don't recommend any 5.5 million midfielders. Any thoughts about bringing in Mahrez? He's a fantastic player. He's a great player. He's completely unreliable in terms of minutes, right? So, yes, great option. If he plays. If Ben Rinnery doesn't say it's not true, agree. Mahrez looked awful in the cup game. Well, he's lacking match practice, isn't he? Do I think Foden is a rotation risk? Yes. Sterling captain 5.5%. Again, Daft, though, I'm not looking at only... don't get me wrong, it's a huge differential. It's amazing. It's fantastic. As long as they're the best option. No. If they want to complete a Portuguese squad, they just need 1 centre back. Why is everyone wildcarding? Because it's the right thing to do. Join us. Oh, cheers, Rudy. Take the advice with Foden and Greenwood. Oh God, don't do that. Too much pressure for me. Son is a beast at the moment. He is. But scored a bunch against the Saints side, which was terrible, and he scored against people in the Europa League. Ben Dinnery said nothing. He's keeping his cards close to his chest. Okay, so another option that I'd had. Change this. Luca Dean features in one of my draft ideas, guys. Change this. This would be Raheem Sterling. And let's just spice it up. Let's put Anguissa in here. Where is he? Where are you? Zambo! There he is. And then it would be Wood here as well. I know I can't afford this team at the moment, guys, but just bear with me. But something like this. But again, this would be 4-4-2. This would be James, Trent, Robbo, Dean, Rodriguez, Sterling. Oh, 4-3-3, sorry. Can't count, guys. Rodriguez, Sterling, De Bruyne, Calvert. So they're pretty similar with my 4-3-3s. I just want to show possibly my favourite squad so far. Possibly. Lamperty and Taylor. I'll just put this in. Where are you, Philip? Now, Gabriel Jesus, we just don't know what's going on here, guys. I'll wait to see what Pep says. But if he's out, I'm leaning towards something with Sterling in it, Sterling and De Bruyne, guys, because that is a spicy front line. Who am I missing? Greenwood, Burke. Actually, let me change these around. Man City, this would be Foden. Oh, God damn it, I don't want to put it there. I want it to look nice and tidy. This one would be Foden. There we go. Something like this. You've got Dean in your team. I think he's on free kicks and he looks really, really attacking. I like it. I still don't see a lot of clean sheets. But if you're playing three at the back and it's Trent, Robbo and Luca Dean, I did the same thing at the end of last season, except it was Doherty, not Dean. Is James got to start? Chilwell back, Thiago Silva? Yeah, I still think he's got that right back slot. If I could get average scores and say a wildcard, is it worth writing it out? Yes, James. Captain options, Arturo. For me, it's got to be Kevin De Bruyne and Timo Werner are the best options. Midfield differential for game week. Any suggestion? I said it before. Like, I'm not bothered about differentials. I'm bothered about points. What's my logic for going double Liverpool defense with no Salah? Okay, business guy. I mentioned this pre-season. I just feel as though Robertson plus Trent over the course of the season covers a Liverpool attack. At least Salah or Mane, right? Because people don't usually have Salah and Mane. So my logic is doing that, and I'd rather have. So when you've got Mo Salah and Kevin De Bruyne, a lot of in your starting 11, so you've got a 12 million Salah or 12.1 now, and you've got an 11.5 million De Bruyne. That means that you're going to probably have 3 or 4 players in your starting 11 that are 5.5 million midfielders and like 6.5 million forwards. And it's like when I said after game week 1 when Salah went crazy. I know we went crazy. I know we got a hat-trick and all bonus points and 40 points or whatever. But then a lot of people were getting game week scores of 55 and 40 points coming from one player. And it just showed what happens in game week 2 when those same squads got like 40 points. Because they're putting all the hopes on 2 of the 11 players. But this is it's a team sport, right? So you try to get points from everywhere. So I'd rather go into a game week with players like Heung-min Son, Timo Werner, Gabriel Jesus, Raul Jimenez, rather than Mo Salah, Bamford, Mitrovic. Do you know what I mean? So that's my logic behind that. Is Son very important because you can spend money elsewhere? No, I don't think it's important. But I'm not going to say he's not important. Like, he's a very, very good player and he's important to Spurs. FPL-wise, I'm not a big fan of that. But the good thing about Heung-min Son is you can jump to Rashford or you could jump to Pulisic, Havertz. Like, it's a good area to have at least one player in. Now, man, we mentioned Mendy. Not sure. Not sure. Jesus is injured. that's on the grapevine at the minute, and that is true. That is a huge possibility. Would I still do Aubameyang, Kevin De Bruyne for -4, even though you've missed a price change? Yes, because Kevin De Bruyne's price is not going to go down. There's nothing on the internet about Gabriel Jesus yet. Maybe someone said something from a press conference. I'll just wait. I mean, this is my wild card. He's out for Timo Werner anyway, so it actually doesn't matter who sits here. I just can't believe Timo Werner's price hasn't gone down yet. So much money I did not get this game week because of price rises being very dodgy. Wait a minute, that's not my defense. Hold on. Hold on. Liberty, James, yes. Okay, this is better. So this team here, so you got Martinez in goal. You've got Robbo, Trent, James as a back three. I think that's absolutely solid. Lamberty and Taylor as backup, I think is excellent as well. Could even go James down to a 4.5 and rotate those three positions for the best fixture. I'd be happy with that every week, basically. But having James in there is a real quality back three. And if I need to go to a back four, Taylor and Lamberty for a week, if they're, say, at home to Fulham, I think that's a good option. And then De Bruyne, Rodriguez, solid. But then Greenwood, Foden. Front three, we don't need to... Dominic Calvert-Lewin, great. Werner to Jesus, maybe, if he's not injured. Great. Jimenez, great. So, having these four... De Bruyne, we all know who he is. Rodriguez, he's looking good. So, it's the Greenwood-Foden combo, which obviously people might have a little problem with. If United don't sign anyone, Greenwood has got to be in that starting 11. He's a better player than Daniel James, and he had a great end to the season, and he's looked sharp when he has played already this season. So I'm not actually too bothered about a Greenwood rotation, but Foden is an issue. Foden could be rotated, but there's a lot of coulda, woulda, shoulda in this, and I just feel that for 6.5 million, playing in a Man City team who score the most goals, and the potential of like getting 9 points in a game week from a 6.5 million player, and if he doesn't play, Lamberty or Taylor come into my side, or Burke. I think that's fine. And even if it's, say, 70 minutes in and Foden's coming on for 20 minutes, it's one of them where it's like, he could probably get a goal there. He could get an assist here. So this one is maybe, I think, my favourite draft so far. And I know it is risky, but I also like the fact that I do have Liverpool players, I do have City players, I do have a Chelsea player, I've got Everton, and I've got Manchester United, and this comes back into my thing I mentioned at the start of the stream, where I'm backing the good teams. I'm backing good players from good teams. Like, I'm not filling it with a 5.5 million Newcastle player or a Southampton player, or, you know, like, I'm backing it with players from top 5 teams. Now, what I could do, I've got 0.5 in the million in the bank, so this was the idea that I did have, was to not go for James, and was to go straight to Wolves. James out, and where's the new gentleman? Semedo in. So then I've got a defender from Wolves at 5.5 million, and then when it gets to after the Crystal Palace game, I can jump to another 5.5 million from Manchester United or even Liverpool. You know, like go 3 Liverpool at the back, like Gomez or something. So it's either Semedo or James, but I think I'd rather go James and either swap Forster to Ryan, or Martinez just goes straight to Guaita. I just feel like, yes, Foden and Greenwood are rotation risks. They could miss out. But just the potential points, and if they don't play, I've got good players coming in. That's one thing. And this is the idea of, if I only have one big premium in De Bruyne, I've got a 9.5 million, I've got it. So let's say I need to change it around. Okay, it's not working out. Werner goes to a 4.5 Brewster, and I spread you know, okay, I don't want Werner. Put him to a 4.5 million forward. just Davis for as an example. I now got 5 million in the bank. So Greenwood goes to Mo Salah. Or Greenwood goes to Heung-min Son, and I've still got 3.6 million to change Taylor into any defender in the game, Luka Dean. And then I've got still extra money to change or Phil Foden into Gareth Bale. So I know it looks risky, but I just feel for the prices, like if Greenwood plays, the points that he could get, he could match Rashford. Why couldn't he? Plays on the other wing, and he was basically, didn't he beat him after Project Restart when he was playing every game? Phil Foden at 6.5 million. Now they don't have David Silva, and yeah, he might play a little bit further back in midfield, but we're talking about arguably the best team in the Premier League, obviously in the top two. So why am I not going? Why would I play someone like Alex Saint-Maximin or even Podence for 5.5 and for 6.5? I can have a Manchester City midfielder who, yeah, say every 5 games, maybe out of the 5, he only plays 2 or 3, but that's 2 or 3 potential big points you can get from a 6.5 million players playing for one of the best teams in the world. So I do feel, oh, let me change this. I do feel that this is my favourite draft so far. And my only issue here is a selection headache. If I go for Sice, who the hell do I drop? Because this is 4-4-3, and that's 12, and I'm not allowed to do that, apparently. That's against the rules. Let me just check in with the chat and see what you guys think about this draft. I love this draft. I would still probably go to a 4.5, either keep 0.5 in the bank, or I'd actually just go Martinez up. Because I'm not going to bench James, am I? Why would I? If he's nailed, and if he's not, I'll just change him straight out for Sice. But I like this anyway. 40.5 million for 2 players instead of 12. Yep, that's it. And 2 good players as well. Who should I avoid? Justin against City or St. Max against Spurs? I mean, both aren't ideal. I'd avoid Justin. Do you listen to Fantasy Weekly Pod? No. They reckon Luka Dean could be on penalties. Interesting. I think Luka Dean is a fantastic option. And he's one of the very, very few players where you could... defenders where you could be like, I almost want attacking returns as much as defensive ones. Pepes says City have lost another first-team striker due to injury. He hasn't named a player, but it has to. Oh, so people are just deducing or making that deduction that it's got to be Jesus if they lost a first-team striker. Ndidi out. Yeah, I knew Ndidi was out. That's why I was definitely going to go Kevin De Bruyne captain. Luka Dean on penalties is huge. Evans is back. I heard he had a knock as well. Klitsch, Podence, Trossard, whom should you consider more? Probably Trossard, but again, I'm just avoiding that. So you can see, like, when I was saying about avoiding the 5.5 and 6, the 5.5 midfielders, why would you go for a 5 to 5.5 midfielder where, let's have a look at the defenders that you can get for 5.5 and less, right? So, do you want Luka Dean, not Luka Dean, do you want Podence or Saint Maximin or Trossard, where for 5.5 million you can get Ben Chilwell, you can get Nathan Ake, Man City centre back, think of the clean sheets. You could get new signing Reguilon at Spurs. I mean, I wouldn't. You can get new signing Semedo at Wolves or any Wolves defender. You could get Gomez for 5.4 million, but I think he's injured. You can get Reece James, attacking fullback at Chelsea, for 5.1. You can get Sice for 5.1. Like, why? I don't understand. Why would you spend 5.5 on a player like Saint Maximin when, the value is in defence? I'd rather go 4-3-3 and not have to be like, oh, I'm playing Saint Maximin this week. Welcome Delap. I almost said Rory Delap then. thoughts on Martinez, Saiz, James, Robertson, Lamptey, Mitchell, Kevin De Bruyne, Sterling, James, Podence, DCL, Werner, Jimenez, Solid, Benjamin, Steve Cooper's Barmy Army. Yeah, Ollie doesn't trust James now. He got subbed half time. And I actually did call it. I said Mason Greenwood was going to get dropped as punishment for his gas inhaling and his breaking protocol on England duty. I knew he said, and they even said he was going to get punished when he went back to the club. They punished him by benching him for 45 minutes and realised, oh crap, we need Greenwood on this pitch. And then he came on the pitch in the cup and got a goal and assist. If they don't sign Sancho, Greenwood is their starting player for 7.5 million for Manchester United. Or Wood in place of Jimenez and TA and Salah in place of Robbo and Sterling. No. Jimenez, Robbo, Sterling for me. Oh, Jimenez, Wood in place of Jimenez. No. And Trent and Salah in place of Robbo. Robbo and Sterling versus Trent and Salah is so close. So close. I'd go Trent and Salah, but Sterling's ceiling so high. If Gabriel Jesus is out, I'm going to really curse myself because I'm probably going to go Kevin De Bruyne and Raheem Sterling. Because if we're lucky, it depends. Obviously, we're not going to do anything, guys, until we know what the extent of Gabriel Jesus' injury is. But if he is out, and I'm not interested in keeping Werner, I'll do Werner down to a 4.5. I'll do Burke up to probably Greenwood because he'll have to make way if I want Raheem Sterling. I'll do that. If United don't sign Sancho, you're not worried about Greenwood. Yeah, same as me, Matt. Double game week, not too sure, James. One thing to say, Pavel Foden played 90 minutes in the cup. That is correct. So that means he will be benched next game week. Seems logical. It does seem logical, yeah. But I mean, this is a wildcard team, right? And I've given up trying to guess what Pep Guardiola is going to do because none of us know. Nobody knows. We all thought this about Mahrez. Do you remember Project Restart? Mahrez, he's played the last 2 games. He definitely missed the third. Didn't miss the third. Fourth game, well, he's definitely not going to play the fourth game. So I don't even guess what he does anymore. And Gavin makes the point, they've got injuries. Gundogan's got COVID-19. So Fernandinho has to play there instead of in defence. Laporte's still not back. And if Gabriel Jesus is out, how can he bench Foden? And he's young, right? Like, if Foden can't play 2 games in a week, I think there's some issues there. Do I think Grealish will give the same points as last season? No. Bale at 9.5, thoughts on that price? It's nostalgia. Secret Machine, I'm going to have to wait. If Bale can get any sort of hold on like his old form and ability, he's an amazing player and he's going to walk into that Spurs side. Son, Kane, Gareth Bale is such a good front 3. It's so good. If he can do that. Back to something because he's just so injury prone. It's like me with James Rodriguez now. I'm just waiting for him to get injured. Like, it's going to happen. And then he'll just go down to like a 4.5 million midfielder. And then I'll probably just go 4-3-3. Hey Josh, how you doing, buddy? On your wildcard team as well. Love the Greenwood pick. I also haven't seen many wildcard with double overs, double defense. Really? I started the season with it. It was funny when I was saying, I've done my wildcard. I still had Ryan. I still had Trent. I still had Robbo. And it was like, oh crap, why am I doing my wildcard? I've only made 2 changes. Obviously, there's a lot more. James or Saiz, thanks. Jerry, I don't know. I don't know, Jerry, because I've got both. And I can't choose between them. I'd go James over Saiz, though. But Wolves fixtures for the next, 6. Now, what I've been doing, guys, so something that, I don't know if a lot of people do it, but it's something that I've been trying to do myself, and I'll do it when I've got a little bit of time because I'm working tomorrow as well, is now, when I'm picking players, I don't just look at the player in the team anymore. I actually look at who that player is going to match up against. So, for example, Reece James is the right back of Chelsea. So what I'll do is Reece James against the left back / left winger of the opponent. So West Brom away. James is a fantastic option, not just because he's a good player, but Gibbs, the left back of West Brom, got a red card against Everton last week. That means James is going to face the left winger of West Brom, and he's going to face the second choice left back of the current leakiest defence in the Premier League. So something that if you've got time to do it and you're sort of more serious about it, don't just look at stats and don't just look at how good the team and the player is doing, but actually match up who that player is going to go against. That's why a lot of people fancied Salah against Chelsea, because it was Salah against Alonso. That's something I'm trying to look more into. So Greenwood isn't he the right winger of Manchester United? So I look at who the left back is of that team, because sometimes that becomes the just as important as all the other stuff that you look at, right? Who is that player matching up against? So, for example, whoever plays against Everton, if they are the left winger of their team against Everton, they're going to be up against Seamus Coleman, who is the defensive side. But if you look at the right winger against Everton, going up against Luca Dean, who's a great defender, but is going to be out of position more, I would be quite interested in the right winger against Everton more than the left winger against Everton. If that makes sense. It's the reason why I said last season that I was targeting Matt Targett of Aston Villa, because they conceded the most amount of crosses down Villa's left-hand side of any Premier League club by a long way, which means Matt Targett was letting more crosses, almost double the amount of any other player in the left-back position in the Premier League. Unfortunately, the game that I did target him for that particular game, he got injured after about 20 minutes, so I wasn't able to sort of prove that theory, but that's something that I am leaning towards. More paid, cheeky punt, not for me. Again, I kept saying, if you look at this team, guys, I'm backing players from top 5 clubs, top 6, right? Wolves, Chelsea, Liverpool, United, City, and then Everton. 2 from Everton, but good current form Everton, right? Just retweet a tweet saying Mendy won't play. Yeah, I think it's too early. I think we're a week too early, but I'm fine. Someone like Guaita or Martinez is okay for me. Do I like Barnes from Leicester as a Greenwood alternative, or am I backing United? I think United will get the groove back. But again, Barnes is a fantastic option, and if Greenwood doesn't work out, I change. Simple. And that's again why I like not having 2 big premium players, is because it's easier for me to jump around my team. Because if I've got 2 really expensive midfielders, it's going to take like 2 or 3 transfers for me to take that money out of that player and start to spread it around my defense, midfield and attack. But if everyone is like around this price, I've got a little bit of money in the bank, it's just kind of like, it's 2 moves. I can go anywhere in 2 moves. A striker down to a 4.5 million, give it to a midfielder. Or Greenwood to Barnes, 1 move. If I'm taking out Sterling or I'm taking out Salah and then I've got all this money in the bank and then the rest of my team isn't very strong, like if I take Greenwood out and I don't want to take a hit, I go to a 4.5 million, I can happily play anyone else in my squad and not feel like I'm massively underpowered. But if I take Sterling or Salah or De Bruyne or someone out of my squad, and I don't use that money straight away, the rest of my starting 11 is rubbish. Dean and Foden versus Lamptey and Son help you to decide. 6 and 6. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Clement, that's not really fair. Dean and Foden is what? 12.5 million? Sonny's 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.5. You can't say 12 million against 13.5 million is a big difference. So price point wise, maybe choosing the wrong players there. You got a 9 million midfielder against a 6.5 million midfielder. Feels a bit unfair. Yeah, Vince, I did mention it earlier. It's like triple or quadruple the amount of penalties from last season's 2. And I will have a look at some more penalty takers. I'm just making sure these messages aren't important because I've got a load for some reason. Yep. Maybe you missed something about Semedo, but do I think it'd be a good asset? Yeah, I think it'd be fantastic when he's in the starting 11 because he's taking over Doherty's position. And in fact, I did already say that size could be a 4.5 and I could start with Semedo. And even if he doesn't play the first game, I'll start with, you know, Lamperty for a week. Is the option with this team to have KDB as permanent captain, or am I happy to captain him as Werner? Yeah, I'm happy to move it around. That is an issue. You are right. Captaincy for me would be an issue. Because even if Jesus is not injured, I'm going Werner to Jesus. So I've only got Manchester City. But, shock, shock, horror, horror, maybe put the captaincy on Trent. Why not? But yeah, if I have to perma captain De Bruyne, so be it, right? There's worse players to stick the captaincy on every week. But ideally, that is my biggest issue. Nail on the head there, Josh, because captaincy is an issue. But yeah, if I can't trust Werner with the captaincy at 9.5 million, it's kind of like, why have I got him? There's been a lot of pens this first week. Oh, normal. No, triple to quadruple the amount, Ben, of penalties. It's madness. What do I make of Grealish? Not an option for me for like 7 million, if I'm honest. Do I think Semedo will start Sunday? Possibly. Through Salah, like a 32-year-old Leon backup straight in. So, how to fit Raul Jimenez into that team? You just have to take Werner out. Or you can't have KDB and Salah. Or take out Rodriguez, but then you've got two cheap midfielders. But this is what I'm saying, Benjamin. You can't have them all. You can't have all the players that you want. You know, and I did say earlier, like, if you've got Kevin De Bruyne and Salah, if you've got a 12 million midfielder and a 12 million or 11.5, if you're spending, you know, 23, 24 million on two players, you're not going to have all the players that you want. But yeah, you could put it, so you've still got Richarlison and Martial. Yeah, to be honest, looking at this, De Bruyne and Werner, but Jimenez, it's one of them where Kevin De Bruyne will be my perma captain, but then Jimenez will get it when he's, for example, at home to Fulham. But still, Leeds is next week. Game week 5, home to Arsenal. Kevin De Bruyne's captain. Kevin De Bruyne's captain material in every single game. Let's be honest. It's either Trent or no Trent. I've got both. All right, guys, I'm going to leave it there for today. This is my current team. Few changes that I said I would make earlier. Size down to 4.5 million, and then Martinez up to Guaita, or use that 0.5 million to have two playing goalkeepers, which is an idea that I quite like. I need to find a good rotator with Aston Villa. Could keep the 0.5 million because then I can go Foden to Barnes. I could go Foden to Zaha. But likely I'll give Foden more time to do something. Greenwood could go to an 8 million as well. I might just keep the 0.5 million if I'm honest, but we'll just have to wait and see. But this is, I think, how I'm looking at the moment. I quite like it, guys. So, yeah. Would I say it's essential to have backup 4.5 with a defender, or is it fine to have 3 star defenders plus? Definitely need a backup, in my opinion. Definitely need it. Alright, thanks guys. I hope you all have a good day. Get those wildcards sorted. Make sure you don't lose anything. Because my biggest worry, I had like panic attacks thinking, oh my god, I need to remember to change my team because I've got a value team at the minute. So anyway, thanks a lot guys. Hope you all have a good one. Let's get some good scores this week, and I'll see you for the video next Tuesday or Wednesday and the stream next Friday. So have a good one guys, and yeah, take care. Bye bye.